Hi Flosstube, welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Tuesday, February 6th, and I am working today, but I had a work call finish early, so I wanted to hop on and see if I could do a quick update, and hopefully I can edit it later today and get it uploaded. I was hoping to record a video at the end of January, which would have been like last week or at least last weekend or the weekend before, but our weekends have just turned into 100% Ethan time. And so when he goes down for a nap during the day, that's like the one chance to get other things done or, to relax and stitch. So I just don't have time on the weekends right now. And so if I can work it in during the work week, I think that would probably be better. Sorry, I've got a couple of pets sort of circling around underneath me right now. Pomeranian Theodore is not doing very well. I won't go into all the details. Maybe at the end I can talk about Theodore a little bit more. But anyway, since I am trying to squeeze this in, I'm just going to get right into the stitching. So in January, I worked on 4 projects. One that I worked on is my only full coverage now. It is a Heaven and Earth design chart. It's mini birdsong. The artist is Tatiana Fedorova, and I am doing the mini. And I made some good progress on this. Sorry, it's still wrapped up in my pretend scroll rod. So this is where I got to. I guess I could maybe over here might be the best before. So I'm doing this one in diagonals, and for a while I was doing a strict parking method where I did one stitch at a time and then parked it in the next place that it went. And I really like that method. It's meticulous, it's tidy because you're always bringing your thread up through an empty hole and pushing it down through a partially empty hole. But it is slower, and since then I've started doing more of a cross country in the diagonal. And so this year I decided to do a 20 wide diagonal, and I'd like to finish this one diagonal. And because I'm working the threads down, there's a lot less to park in the next diagonal. So it's just interesting to see how it's changed based on the method. So this last month I made really good progress on this diagonal. You can see I'm almost through this bird, and it just happened to butt up against the edge of the sky here. So maybe that's why there's no reason to park in this area, because this is all just blue sky. And then I filled in some of the blue up here some more, because again, this whole section is almost one color of blue. So as much progress as I can get, my future self will be happier when I come up to start the next diagonal and I got some of these done at least. So what I've been doing is every time I pick it up, I will do a length of blue, and then I will work on the main diagonal. And so you guys can't see this because it's done now, but I was doing like a length up here, and then there was a big gap in this diagonal while I worked on the bird. But anyway, I feel pretty optimistic that I can meet my goal of this diagonal, and I could maybe even do more than that, since this is the only full coverage I have now. I do really like full coverage projects, and I kind of always want to be able to grab it, but I will put it back into storage if I get tired of it. So anyway, that's Mini Birdsong. This is on 18 count white Aida using 2 strands, full cross. I like the coverage. I like how easy it is to see the 18 count, but the size of the finished project is going to make this really large. And so someday when I start another full coverage, I will probably do a smaller count of fabric, but we'll see how long this one takes me before I make any real plans. So that was the first one that I worked on. I also worked on page. My Marishka kit. I don't have the cover photo with me, but I've shown it other times, and it's still in the hoop. So let's see if we can undo this really quickly. So this is Squirrel, and it is a kit from Marishka. I've already completed the hair, and it's hanging up in Ethan's room. So I'd like to get the squirrel done to hang up there with that rabbit. So this is where I got to. It's crinkly, wrinkled. So I worked on this edge here. I was trying to finish the first half of this last year, and you can see I've not quite gotten there yet, but I have. This is the top corner. So this part is done. There is like a little butterfly in here and another leaf, but then otherwise this whole section is done, and we're just moving across the top. It's pretty sparse up here, just a branch and some leaves, and then an acorn in the middle. So it's getting close to being halfway done. This is on a 32 count linen. I can't remember the color. I think it might be natural, but I will have to check next time I do an update and give you the right color. So that was Squirrel and Marishka. What else did I work on? I also worked on my Teresa Wentzler. So this is, excuse me, thank you. This is Millennium by Teresa Wentzler. And my goal for this year was to bring the inside of this arch all the way down, which I did, and I also wanted to finish one of these little over one planets, which I also already finished, and I also started on another planet, and I kind of worked more in the sky. So I was happy with that progress. Now that my goals are finished on it, there's a chance it won't come out again this year, but I don't want that to happen, so hopefully I'll bring it out again and work on it some other time. But here, oopsies. Here's where I got to. So I removed the Q-snap so that I could work on that arch a little bit better. So let's pull that side off so you can see there. So I finished this little planet. It's over one. The whole project is 28 count, and it's typically 2 over 2, but these planets are 1 over 1, including the big Earth that goes right here and the shooting star. But you can see I brought the arch down, and then if I had, more on that string, I counted over to start the arch back over the top. And it's kind of hard to keep track of in the pattern, so I also took a color over here so that I would have like a marker of where this falls on this arch. So yeah, I'm really happy with that progress. Like I said, my goals have been met for this, so it might not come back out, but we will see. I need to start, the edge of the design is up here. This is like a pillar, and then there's a flame and some smoke, but then the corner is right up here. So I'd like to work up here some more, potentially. And last time I mentioned that the only beads in this project are in the sky to be stars, but there are also beads through here. So this will stay like open and exposed. It's not full coverage through here, but there will be leaves and vines with beads. And so you'll see some of this gray coming through, but there will be more beads in here also. Yeah, so that is where I got on this one. It's fun to work on, and it has a lot of variety. I mean, it's kind of tricky with quarter stitches in, to make this smooth arch, but I think it'll be worth it. And there's back stitching where these colors meet up, so it'll be much more seamless once all that is in. So that is Millennium by Teresa Wentzler. Okay, the only other project that I worked on was my Riolas kit. This is Snowy Owl, I believe is what it's called. Let's see. Oh, it's called White Owl. And I traded out the fabric for this one. I am doing it on a navy Aida instead of the like oatmeal-y Aida that it came with. This one's also still in the hoop, but I'm going to take them out of the hoops and Q-snaps before I store them. Just didn't do it before this video. So this is where I got to. So you can't really tell exactly, but this is actually the bird's beak, and this is one of the eyes, and the other eye is right here. So I'm starting to get a little more shape on this one. The way that I'm stitching this one is I am, at least for now, I am completing it in 10 by 10 squares. I'm choosing the next color based on what's in the 10 by 10 square, and then I've been focusing on taking that color across the page break because this kit comes with like a big like poster size pattern that you unfold. And so when I made copies for a working copy, that line where it unfolds is not great. There's not enough overlap to be confident. So I have to open up that whole big thing to work across the page break. So I tried to do that on purpose this time, so I would have to do less of that next time. So anyway, I'm choosing the squares, and I finished the middle square, the square above it, and the square above that. So I think I'm going to keep going up doing that method, and then once I get to the top of the owl, we will see where I go next. So you can kind of tell here that there's not much left of the owl once I get above the eyes. So yeah, that is what I worked on in January. For February, I have not pulled out specific plans except for one. I'm planning on one new start. It's going to be a small start, and it's going to be out of this pamphlet, From Susie's Zoo with Love. Like I said, my dog Theodore is like hovering underneath me, so every time I shift I have to like stand to the side because he's moved into my spot. So I've already done this little turtle without all of those hearts. He's just pulling one heart. And so this month I'm going to do this little chick, but instead of the border I'm going to have him just holding a heart in his hand. So I've already got a piece of 18 count Aida ready to go. I pulled out my flosses and I just put them on a ring. I didn't add the symbols to these, I just pulled them straight out of the drawers that I have here with all of my DMC. And so that's going to be hopefully a quick start and a quick finish. Other than that, I'm not sure what I'll be working on, but I do hope to come back at the end of February with an update. Okay, so I'm going to pause and get the fabric from the giveaway from, I think it was September, and I will be right back. Okay, so my last regular update, I asked you to tell me something about Halloween if you wanted to be entered to win this piece of fabric. It's a 32 count fabric, and it says here this is not color fast, so make sure you note that when you receive this. I found 11 comments that mentioned Halloween. It's a little out of date now, but it was fun to read through those comments as they came in October. And so there were 11 comments that mentioned Halloween, and I drew number 10, which was at SK Stitch. So I will reply to your comment from 4 months ago and also try to reach out to you about how to connect to send this to you. The best way to share your address with me is through Instagram, so we'll connect that way. And congratulations, I hope you enjoy the fabric, and I do apologize for the long delay in giving this piece of fabric away. Okay, so that is the giveaway. That was my stitching. That was my plans for February, such as they are. And yeah, as far as life goes, everything is pretty good. Work is good. Ethan is great. He is growing up so fast. And the older he gets, just the more things we can do all together as a family, or just the two of us, or just Ethan and his dad. So it's been good. I don't have any specific stories lined up. We've been preoccupied with Theodore's health. So Theodore is my Pomeranian. Let me grab him. So here's Theodore. Um, he used to be our grumpy old man, but now he's just so lethargic and a little disoriented that he's kind of is. He's not even grumpy anymore. He doesn't bark anymore. He's just fading fast. So he is in the early stages of kidney failure, and we have some methods that we're trying to make his life more comfortable, but we're having some issues with his special food and all his meds, and it's just a lot to keep up with. So we're starting to wonder, about his quality of life and how much he's getting out of still being with us, and how much is us not being ready to say goodbye yet. So here's Theodore, and I will let you guys know how he's doing next time I have an update. In general, though, it's not good. So we'll see what happens. And end of life care for a pet is tough. There's a lot of tough decisions that need to be made, and we've only had to put one pet to sleep. It was a cat, and she was really sick. And after we had it done, we realized that her quality of life was so poor that maybe we should have done it sooner. And I don't want to be in that situation with this dog who's been in my life for almost 13 years. He's 14 going on 15, and you can see he's kind of ready to take a nap. So I'm going to set him back down. But on a happier note, our cat and our other dog are doing great, and this is just part of life. It's a tough part of loving and caring for someone or something is, there comes a time where that ends, and we're just working through it. And that's part of why I don't have more information for you about our day-to-day life. We're just kind of caring for him right now. Anyway, I don't want this to be a sad note. He's had a wonderful life, and our lives have been better because of him. It's just part of being a pet owner. So yeah. Anyway, on that somber note, I guess I will go, and I hope you guys are doing well and that you keep your pets close, and happy stitching. Bye.